All right, welcome back, Truth Seekers. Sunday morning. Hello to the chat. I see a question. When are you going to do a video on Cedric Benson? Well, I'm going to have to find out what's going on with Cedric Benson. Marty says the Orioles have amazing numbers. One concern for the Orioles I saw is that they could get their 85th loss today against Boston. They can also get that 22nd away win. So, what's going on with Cedric Benson? Must be some news story I don't know about. Did he die? Yeah, it dies. That's what I'm talking about. Every year it's the same thing. It's just like players just dropping dead. He died on the date with the 44 and 64 numerology. You know, every single month that this date comes around with the 44 and 64 date, there's a suspicious death. Because again, kill equals 44 and 64. And here, let's just see from his birthday, December 28th. He was only 36 years old. From his birthday to his death. Hold on. It never fails. Always that date. That's why I always say circle that date with the 44-64 connection. Or whoops, I don't want... Well, I guess that's to his upcoming birthday. So he died 133 days from his upcoming birthday. Football is 133. And 232 days after, 33 weeks in a day. 133 in reverse. Or on his 233rd day of his age. Oh, I see. That's what it is right there. That's the riddle. That's the sick joke. That he died on his 233rd day of his age. Because that's the 51st prime number. It's also the 13th Fibonacci number. And if I'm not mistaken, he played the majority of his career for Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's 51 in the most pure cipher, just like how it always gets picked up in baseball when it comes around. Did he play for any other teams besides Cincinnati? Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's right. He started with Chicago. I forgot that. He was like a bust with Chicago at first, and then he turned it around and played well for Cincinnati. And then he finished his career with Green Bay, who's a real interesting team this year. Bengals are interesting, too. He's been out of the league since 2012. 7 years. This season will be 7 years. He played in exactly 96 games for his career. Cincinnati 96, Dalton 96. Played 35 with Chicago, Chicago 35. Played 56 with the Bengals. And I forget what motorcycle equals. They say motorcycle accident. Motorcycles 51 too, like Cincinnati. Dead on his 233rd day of his age. 51's the conspiracy number. So, motorcycle accident. And this is in the news today, isn't it? Is this today's news story? So this is in the news today, 18/8, and motorcycle accidents 188 and 80, just like Bavarian Illuminati too, which again was a Masonic organization, just like Freemasonry controls football. Last year on this day, Kofi Annan died at age 80. His full name, I forget how to spell it. Let me see if that's right. Kofi Annan. No, it's not right. I'm missing a letter in there. But his full name was 80 as well. Yeah. So that's how it goes. I'll do a blog post on it later. See if there's anything else. Is the opening game... What's the opening game? NFL kickoff game, September 5th. The Bears are playing and who? Is it Bears-Packers? It is. So he played for the Bears and Packers as well. Started with the Bears. His last team he played with was the Packers. So... see if it's synced up with that game. Hey, what's up, caller?
I see talk about the Cedric Benson. He was on the 2006 NFC Championship Chicago Bears team, and you say he ended his career with Green Bay. Don't Chicago and Green Bay start the season off this year?
That's just what I was getting to, is how it lines up with the start game of the season, because that is the first game of the year.
Yeah. So I think that's a sign for the first game of the season. Chicago between Chicago and Green Bay for the 100th season.
Right. He died 19 days before that game, 2019 season.
So you think that's just as a ritual for Green Bay or Chicago, maybe, for them to have a good year to make the playoffs, maybe get to the NFC Championship game?
I think that whole division might be good. So,
and plus he played for Texas Longhorns too, so it could something to do with college too. But I doubt it. The college, I think it's more NFL with this guy. Plus he died at 36. I think at 36, his age 36 stand out for some reason. The 36 don't stand out to you. His age
666, the 36th triangular number. Yeah, I'll keep thinking about it. I'm sure there's more here.
Okay, that's it. I just wanted to point out that point. He went to the Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears that year.
Right. I remember that.
And who they played in the Super Bowl? Wasn't it the Colts they played that year?
It was. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's a riddle with the Colts, the Bears, and Green Bay somewhere in there.
Yeah, good thoughts.
Okay, that's it, Zach.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
He died 169 days over the Super Bowl, or a span of 170 days, and sacrifice equals 170. 169 has a square root of 13. So it just never fails, man. Every single month with the 44-64 date. Remember last month on the 44-64 date, it was a college football player shot to death in his driveway, and I called that local Crime Stoppers. If you missed that video, and I told that guy to watch the date August 17th, 2019. I said, just watch. Next month that'll be the 44-64 date. Now you got another dead football player. And during football season, it often is football players that die on these dates. So last year, just before the Super Bowl, it was a former Atlanta Falcon, dead from cancer, 44 days from his own birthday on the 44 date. George is 44. Remember, Falcons hosted the Super Bowl last year. All right. Okay, well, that's that story for now. Let's review other things in the world. The UFC 241. I was wondering if we might see both stars upset. I mentioned that in the live stream yesterday because it kind of seemed like it was more scripted for the underdogs. So with Cormier, he was going up against this Miocic guy, and what stood out was that their last fight was exactly 58 weeks ago. And this Stipe Miocic equals 58. And when you write out 2, it equals 58. It was the second fight between these guys, and Miocic had a chance to give Cormier his second career loss and make his record 22-2. So a bunch of 2s. And also, Miocic, he had a chance to become 19-3 for his career, like 193, the 44th prime, on a date with 44 numerology. So he was the underdog. That is what happened. And we were also talking about maybe the Order Out of Chaos ritual, him going for his 19th win. He was 18-3. He had a chance to make the opponent 22-2. Order Out of Chaos is 183 and 222. But I didn't know enough about the UFC and the narratives going on and how him winning might shake up things. But the date numerology definitely stood out in the span from the last fight. And hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Zach, when did you got online? I thought I could get you a while ago. Couldn't get you a while ago.
Say that again?
When did you got online?
Oh, I'm online right now. We just started up. We were talking about the death of Cedric Benson, and now we're talking about last night's UFC fights. We're about to get into today's baseball games.
Okay. I'll listen to you tonight. I ain't know who gonna win today.
Okay.
Best team to pick.
I'm going to get to those games.
Hey,
So.
thanks for Milwaukee, though. Thanks for Milwaukee. It's a long game. Skinny me up, though.
Oh, yeah, nail biter, man. Glad you won. Glad you won on that.
Man, why you want game is that?
That's how they like to do it, man. That's why I don't watch the games. Too much anxiety.
Man, I was driving. I'm a truck driver. I drive all night. I listen to games. I couldn't believe it. Man, it was a crazy game, man. I thought, man, what's going on? So, okay, no problem. Let's see right now, Zach. Yeah?
All right, man. Well, glad you won. You have a good night. All right. Have a good day.
All right, no
Take
problem.
care. All right, see you, man. Truck driver. Sometimes I wish I would have just been a truck driver. It's hard on your back, though, to sit for a long time. Anyway, the other fight, Anthony Pettis, what we saw in this guy was how he could become 22-9 on the 229th day of the year, and his last loss was at UFC 229. He was fighting, what's his name? Nate Diaz, who hadn't fought in a minute, and Diaz was making his return on the day, leaving 136 days left in the year. That 229 riddle did look like the strongest thing. The only concern was that Nate and Diaz equaled 23, and he was going for his 23rd win, but like we also pointed out, 23 is the 9th prime, and he could pick up that 9th loss. So, the underdogs did come through, and we also documented these guys with the 53 connections, just since it was UFC 241, the 53rd prime. If I'm not mistaken, the people with the 53 connections won their fights last night. And this Derek Brunson, who was fighting on the perfect day, I believe he lost, and I just thought it made too much sense for him to win because his opponent could have become 19-8. Or hold on. Or actually, no. I am misspeaking. Derek Brunson won. And the fight was just like the date he was on, 17/8. And there was this interesting alignment with his birthday, but we just saw that his opponent, had he lost to him, his numbers would have been just perfect. But I guess it was just more about him fighting on the date. So I have a feeling some of you guys might have won on the underdogs last night in the fight. But, again, fighting can be tricky. Sometimes you see just how well structured the fight is, and it seems to point a certain way. I mean, you can almost always see the structure of the fight, like why the rematch was 58 weeks later. Why Diaz is making his return on the day, leaving 136 days. But, anyhow, that was that. Baseball. Let's go over yesterday's games real quick. Yankees won 6-5. Yankees have a chance to sweep the Indians. If they do, the Indians will get to 26 away losses. Yankees 26. That's going to be tough, though, because if the Indians win, they'll get their 74th win. New York Yankees is 74. If you use the rule on S, Yankees is also 35. Could get the 35th away win as well. The Cubs and Pirates, yesterday the Cubs picked up their 28th win in the NL Central on the 28 date numerology. Let me get up the date numerology notes. The date numerology seemed to be back on point yesterday. So Cubs got the 28th win in the NL Central. Reds got the 28th win in the NL Central. They beat St. Louis. They beat them 6-1. St. Louis Cardinals 61. The Brewers were going for their 28th away win. They got it done. Caller?
Hey, I want to be fast because I know the water really game start, but I want to point out yesterday's Reds game. So it was a Pete Rose tribute. He had come back on August 17th, 1984. They were wearing the throwback jerseys from 1970s. The Cardinals were wearing their Saturday blue alternates that they were 1-8 in, and then they became 1-9
against
Reds
the Reds. Perfect.
Pete Rose's birthday is 4/14/1984. It was 4 months, 4 days past his birthday, a span of 126 days, and yesterday had the 44/26 date numerology. And throwback equals 101, 26 prime. And the Reds got a run in the fourth, like 4-1. Pete Rose equals 41. It was the 229th day of the year. Peter Edward Rose equals 229. Peter Edward Rose also equals 85, like reflection of 58, which is the number of wins the Reds got to. And the record for the Reds was 58-64, like reflection of saying Peter Edward Rose Reds, because Reds equals 46.
Nice.
So,
nice. Yeah, too bad we didn't have that information about how the Cardinals could fall to 1-8 in those jerseys, or 1-9.
Yeah, they said it right before the first pitch, and I went to the live bet, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm getting this," because it was too good. Because they've never lost in those jerseys before with this current team. So
perfect. Yeah, good
the
catch.
other thing too, the Chris Sale injury was totally fake. Is what I'm looking at. Like elbow injury equals 55.
Did Chris Sale pitch yesterday?
No. They announced his injury.
I see.
And I put that in the chat, so I don't want to just take up the time. But today, the Royals are looking good for that 45th win.
Okie dokie.
I'll let you get back to it.
All right, appreciate it. Caller?
Hey, Zach, just want to make sure you get off on the right foot here. Remember, the Indians did beat the Yankees, I think, in that first game.
Oh, right. Yeah, they smoked them that first game. So,
yeah, sure did. So,
well, yeah.
Too caught up on that sweet narrative.
Right. So, was there something that I said that was contradictory?
Oh no, I thought you said they could go for the sweep today. So I thought you said that in the very beginning when you.
Oh, I might have used that terminology. They can win their third game in a row is what I should say.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. But so the 28 date numerology yesterday, the Cubs did pick up their 28th win in the NL Central. The Reds did pick up their 28th win in the NL Central. The Brewers did pick up their 28th away win by beating the Nationals. Remember, we saw that Nationals pitcher could fall to 7-7, and I mean, anytime I see that number in DC, I just got to bite. Padres had a chance at the 28th away win. Like I said, the Padres did have the date numerology yesterday. I just wasn't sure if the Phillies were going to go on some, long winning streak here. The Mets had a chance to stay, but it's never staying that it's about, so I'm not going to count that against the date numerology. The Braves did not pick up their 28th home loss. They avoided that. The pitcher riddles in that game were very conflicted. And the Giants and the Diamondbacks was the game where the date numerology was on both sides if the Diamondbacks won. So this game it was twisted in. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Had you just played date numerology where it could have been picked up in a game, win or lose, you would have been 4-2 in those games. Not bad. You're winning at a ratio of 2 out of 3. And that's typically what date numerology is in sports. And baseball's had all these lulls this year, which is not normal in the rest of the world of sports. Normally, if you just play the date numerology, and I can't advise this in baseball anymore just because there's so many periods where it goes out, but if you just play it in the world of sports, just in general, just the date numerology where things line up, you're going to win at a ratio of about 2 out of 3, which isn't bad. So I would say yesterday was a normal date numerology day. The 37s, let's see, the stays didn't matter. Did anyone have a chance to pick up? There wasn't any pickup. So yeah, the 37 just had stays, so that's not a big deal. Brewers had the chance of that 64th win along with the 28th win. I think it was more about the 28. Phillies did stay. Okay. So yeah, other things like that we were looking at. So just to go through the games yesterday, other things that we saw. In the Mariners game, the Blue Jays pitcher made a whole lot of sense with a loss. Wasn't a lot to go off of, but oftentimes when the pitcher record indicates something, it's usually the way it goes. So that Blue Jays pitcher had a chance to fall to 4-9. Blue Jays is 49. I didn't think the Athletics were going to win this game. When they did, I said, oh, that was something I didn't consider. They got their 71st win, which is the 20th prime, and Astros is 20. I saw that the Athletics pitcher could get his 20th career loss, and I locked into that. And let's see. Bassett became 9-5 instead. So Bassett got the win. I thought he could get that 20th career loss against the Astros 20. Did like the Rays to win yesterday and today. I'm still on that same thought. Again, to get to 33 wins, because Tigers is 33. They'd get to 73 overall wins, too. The reflection of 37. Detroit's 37. The Red Sox got to 32-32, Boston 32. We talked about how the Saturn numbers seemingly win against the Orioles yesterday, so it didn't look like it was going to be their type of Saturday. Today, the problem with the Orioles is they can get that 85th loss. Boston 85, Red Sox 85. They can also get that 22nd away win. Boston 22, but the way that double 85 stacks, Orioles are on quite a losing streak. They just got swept by the Yankees. Now they're in danger of being swept by the Red Sox, so we'll look at that. Another Mets-Royals score of 4-1, 1-4, KC 14. Seems like this number shows up with them almost every game these days. If the Royals lose today, they'll be 24-39. Mets equals 24, New York 39. So I think there's a strong possibility that happens. That their record is a tribute to the Mets with a loss, the Royals today. I think I just heard the last caller say he likes the Royals to win today, but I don't think he paid attention to the fact that they can be 24-39. That's just like the New York Mets record. The Dodgers and the Braves game, the date numerology was going against the Braves, but the pitcher riddle, like we said, could make sense win or loss either way, so it was dangerous. I did think the Twins were going to lose here. Berrios, he didn't get the decision. God, Minnesota came out and put up a ton of runs right away, huh? High scoring. I thought that pitcher Berrios could fall to 10-7. That was just making too much sense to me. Rangers 107, Saturday 107, 28th prime, 28 date numerology. I'd say maybe that's the most surprising game of the day to me. Seemed like that 107 should have come through. Giants and D-backs. Giants stayed on 28 away losses. Yeah, you had the date numerology on both sides on that one. Talked about how the Rockies would probably win yesterday. That's why I said take the Rockies to win the series. Easy call. Marlins should get to 38 away losses. So they're there. Now, I think the Marlins will have a shot to win today, so we'll talk about that. And again, like the Angels yesterday and today, to get the White Sox to 37 away losses, because Chicago's 37, so is Los Angeles. Caller?
Hey, Zach, what's up? It's Joe.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you like the Phillies today, right?
I do like the Phillies today.
Yeah, I was going to let you know, too, they're going to go for the 65th win today.
Say that again, it was broken up.
Say that again?
Yeah, you were broken up.
Yeah, they're going to go for the 65th win today.
Right.
Yeah, if you go to their... from today to the date of the first game of the World Series, it's 65 too.
It's 65 days today? Wow.
Yeah, from today to the World Series is 65 days.
That's a great observation. Huh.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, take care. So, the first game of the World Series is October 22nd. He's right on, 65 days. And remember, we've seen riddles with Philadelphia and New York Yankees right alongside each other all year. New York Yankees 65, Philadelphia 65. The shooting hoax earlier this week, that was the Philadelphia story. Yankees won 6-5 that day. Phillies won 11-1. New York won 11. Remember, the shooter's name was 111. What was his name? Maurice Hill. Maurice Hill. 111. And that game was 69 days before the start of the World Series. The next day, the Phillies won 5-7. But notice World Series is 57 and 69 too. So, again, they've been doing these Philly and New York stories right alongside each other for a reason. It remains to be seen if they'll meet in the World Series, but We've been documenting this since early in the year. Okay. So, the Orioles today. There's not a lot to go off with the pitchers here. Let me close some windows real quick just because my computer's too hot. Okay. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's just talk about the date numerology real quick. Games where the date numerology is there. Today's date numerology is 29-38-65. Yesterday, the 20-sum method was pretty on point. And the 29th today, the Padres could pick up the 29th win. At the same time, they could get their 65th loss, and I think that's going to be the more important number. Typically, the 60 path isn't where it's at, but because it's Philadelphia, and here, let me add this note in here. Philadelphia 65, San Diego Padres 65, both in the most pure ciphers. Because the Padres, or actually it's the Phillies. The Phillies who can get their 65th win today on the 65 day, and now we know 65 days before the start of the World Series. I think that's going to be the stronger riddle. Again, Philadelphia established on the day, leaving 65 days left in the year. And so anyway, if there's a 29 game that I expect not to play, it's the Padres not getting their 29th win. The Rays can stay on 29 home losses. I'm not crazy about stay, but I think that'll happen just because I expect them to get their 33rd home win over the Tigers. Tigers 33. The Reds can stay on 29 home losses, and I should have put this here with it. They can also get their 29th win versus the NL Central, so the Reds have the 29 playing for them in two ways. The Brewers can pick up their 29th away win today. They'd have to beat the Nationals. The Brewers would also get their 65th win, and I should note that Washington, D.C. in the most pure cipher is 56, but it has one S in it, so you can add +9 for that S, so Washington, D.C. is also 65. Talked about that before, how Bryce Harper, his name's 6165, Washington, D.C. 6165, Philadelphia 6165. The Mets could stay on 29 away wins today, but I don't know about that because it looks like the Royals will probably do the Mets tribute by becoming 24 and 39 at home. The Rockies have a chance to stay on 29 home losses, but again, I think the Marlins got a shot today. Giants can pick up the 29th away loss versus the D-backs. They won yesterday, so maybe their day to lose. And the Cubs can also get the 29th win versus the NL Central. That's the Pirates game, so it's further down. It's the Sunday Night Baseball game. I do not like Sunday Night Baseball. It seems to be a jinx, but the Reds and Cubs just followed that pattern, so it's possible it continues today. But again, keep in mind it is Sunday. Today's the day where patterns can get funny, so definitely be selective today. The 38s, the Mariners could get their 38th away loss today. Ontario's 38th, that's possible. The Marlins, the stay that matters to me is the Marlins. They can stay on 38 away losses. They got some other things going for them. But again, that game's in Colorado. Colorado, the land of 38. If the Astros got swept by the Orioles, which is hard to imagine, or did I say Orioles? I mean Athletics. The Athletics have won 3 in a row. If the Astros did not win today, they'd stay on 38 wins versus the AL West. So we'll look more at that. The Cardinals and Reds game today, the thing that would go against the Cardinals and the 29s is that both teams can pick up a 65. I like the 20-something date numerology more than I like this 65 path. But now that it's been pointed out that it's 65 days from the World Series, I'm just thinking, could there be something more to it today? So anyway, let's just go through it. Just wanted to get the date numerology games out there. For more than a week, the date numerology has been mostly good. There's been 2 days in there that weren't so good. One of them wasn't terrible. but still 2 not so good days in a period of about 9 days, I would say. Okay, so these guys don't have a lot. The pitchers don't have a lot to go off of.
CC Sabathia, his current record is 6-5, so I'm wondering if maybe he stays on that. Has maybe something to do with the World Series tribute.
Well, his current record's 5-6. He could even it up at 6-6 today.
Oh, I'm sorry, is it 5-6? Oh, my fault.
Yeah, he has a losing record actually. So playing his old team.
Maybe the reflection of it, rather. Excuse me. You're right. 5-6. Excuse me. But okay.
I'm not.
Sorry. What you say? I think we're talking to each other. I'm sorry. What you say in regards to being the reflection, maybe, or not? You don't think there's much importance to that.
Well, I like 66 in New York because when you add 1 through 11 together, it equals 66, and New York's the 11th state. I've seen some 66 riddles with the Mets this year. So
Okay.
I'm going to look at his splits here against his old team because, I mean, he played for the Indians a long time, so I think there's some symbolism.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, and I think before you had mentioned that, too. They played, what was that? I think you mentioned that last time they played. I think he smoked them on that game. He did pretty well against them. And they played in Cleveland. I guess you'll look at it shortly. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it all up here right now and just see what's been going on with him.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, yeah, welcome, thanks.
Yep.
All right, so he last pitched July 27th at Boston. That was 22 days ago, so he's pitching again 22 days later. And his birthday was July 21st. I know that because he has the same birthday as me. So his birthday was 28 days ago. He hasn't won since he turned his new age. He's 39 years old, that magic New York number. So his last win was July 16th. That would have been 32 days ago or a span of 33 days. So he could get his first win in a span of 33 days against Cleveland, his old team. So here, I want to finish looking at this game. We'll be on the Yankees game next. I just want to see, is there some clue with Eovaldi about if the the Red Sox could win or lose this game? If he wins, he's 5-3 with Boston. So that's important because Boston Red Sox is 53. So let me add that here. Where's my pitcher riddles? Eovaldi can improve to 5-3 with Boston. Boston Red Sox 53. And you know, the Orioles' narrative to upset is the fact that they can get their 22nd away win in Boston, always a big number in Boston. But again, they can get their 85th loss. Boston 85, Red Sox 85. And how many games have they lost in a row now? They've lost 6 in a row. 7. Yesterday would have been perfect for 7 in a row. Well, it's hard to say where that streak's going to end. But Boston and Red Sox both 85. Eovaldi with a chance to become 5-3 with Boston. Boston Red Sox 53. I do notice if the Red Sox lost, they'd be 66-60. I don't know how 666 fits in with these teams. But Boston is now 10-5 versus the Orioles. If they won, they'd be 11-5. 11, the 5th prime number. So they could have a prime relationship by beating them too. They're 10-5 right now, trying to become 11-5. So I wouldn't bet Boston. They don't pay anything. It's just what we're trying to figure out is if the Orioles are worth an upset pick. And personally, I think it's it's a small glimmer of hope for the Orioles. 'Cause if that 85 wasn't there, I would take it, but it is. And Eovaldi would make sense with a win, too. Could always get a no decision, though. Okay, Sabathia. Here, just real quick, since it's close to a lot of games starting, games I would take today, I really like the Phillies to get their 65th win, 65-date numerology, 65 days to the start of the World Series. Philadelphia, 65. San Diego Padres, 65. I do like that. I like the Rays to get their 33rd home win, Tigers, 33. There's some of these other games that I lean towards, but I'm just going real quick, games that I think are just because they start so soon. And the Angels, I like the Angels to give the White Sox their 37th away loss against Chicago, 37, Los Angeles, 37. So all of those games make some good sense to me. I do like the Giants, I would say today, even though they have the date numeral. Actually, I really don't think Bumgarner's going to lose. I'll put it that way. Bumgarner, if he wins, he's 9-7, and remember, he faces Oakland next, and Oakland Athletics 97, Athletics 97. It's possible he gets a no decision today and becomes 9-7 versus the Athletics. Giants can get that 29th away loss, so never mind. That game's not going to be in my list of likes, but I just like the overlap numbers in the records with the games I mentioned. Angels winning and Rays winning. And that Philadelphia 65 thing. Another game. And we're going to go through all of it, but just for people who just want to get their picks in. I do think the Marlins will beat the Rockies today. If you already took the Rockies to win the series, you've already won the bet. But I think the Marlins have a good shot today. They can get the 46th win. Rockies is 46. They can get the 21st away win. Colorado Rockies is 73, the 21st prime. They can stay on 38 losses. Colorado's 38, 38th state, 38 date numerology. And the Rockies can get their 68th loss. Miami Marlins is 68. They would also stay on 32 home wins, and Marlins is 32. So the biggest concern for me about the Marlins is Yamamoto. If he lost, he'd be 4-5. Miami is 45. But there's enough there to believe in a Marlins upset, in my opinion. So, okay. Quick list of games, but maybe we'll find some more gems here by going through more thoroughly. That's what we're going to do right now. So, doesn't look like the Orioles upset. I mean, there's a chance, the 22, but it's not looking good. It's looking more like the 85. And Indians and Yankees, so we're trying to figure it out what it could be with Sabathia here. The riddle would have to be through Sabathia. We talked about how his last win was a span of, or the last time his team got a win while he was on the mound was a span of 33 days ago. He's 4-4 against the Indians for his career. It's going to be his 15th start. There's a relationship with 15 and 5, but the problem is the 5 can go either way. Let's see what his record is at Yankee Stadium. What's going on here? Huh. So this is the old Yankee Stadium. So in the new stadium, he's 66-37. That's interesting because he could get his 30. Well, you know what? He could get his 38th loss on the 38-date numerology, but he can also get his 67th win, and Cleveland Indians is 67. So I think it's more like that. I always prefer in the pitcher records the Team Gematria to the date numerology. So that is very interesting. Sabathia can get 67th win at new Yankee Stadium. Cleveland Indians 67, most pure cipher. And yeah, you still got to be cautious. Here, let's look at Clevenger too. Well, hold on. Let me look a little bit more at Sabathia. Then we'll look at Clevenger. 251 and 159. I think today leaves 135 days left in the year. Is that right? Whoops, I got to type in the right thing. Yeah, today does leave 135 days left in the year. And I see that Sabathia could get his 135th win with the Yankees, too. August 18th leaves 135 days in the year. Sabathia can get 135th win with Yankees. And I don't think either team has a connection to that number. Yankees. Okay. Let me also note, Yankees looking for first win with Sabathia on the mound in a span of 33 days. Cleveland equals 33. New York equals 33. And what's the name? CC Sabathia anyway? His name is 67 as well, just like Cleveland Indians. All right. All right, let's look at Clevenger now. He's 35 and 19. Could stay on 35. Yankees 35. How about his splits with the Yankees? Oh 1 versus the Yankees with a 5.65 ERA and 2 starts. And he's pitched at this ballpark 1 time, 1 start, 2.45 ERA, no decision. So he has pitched well here before. You know, the Yankees, they have struggled on a lot of Sundays. It's interesting that the Yankees can't get their 84th win today on Sunday. Sunday's 84. The Yankees have that Jesuit connection in their name. New York Yankees is 191, 187, just like Society of Jesus. And then Jesuits, Jesuits got almost all the same numbers as Sunday. So... yeah, I'm leaning Yankees there, but I'm still not crazy about it because I just worry about the Indians picking up the 74th win. New York Yankees 74. They did make a statement in the first game, so they can definitely hang with the Yankees. But I'm just curious to see what they do with Sabathia now that he's 39 years old. Could he... he's trying to come back off this injury. Maybe he doesn't have it anymore. Maybe he's going to finish his season prematurely, some sort of ritual. Today, imagine if today's Sabathia's last day pitching for the season. Maybe they shut him down. It's possible because today's 65 days to the World Series. New York Yankees 65. Or who knows, maybe Sabathia comes on and pitches great the rest of the season too. So the Yankees won't need him to contend, but I wonder where the narrative might go. Him being 39, though, it probably does make sense for him to stay there, the big New York number. Okay, Padres and Phillies. Phillies can get that 65th win. San Diego Padres 65, Philadelphia 65, 65 date numerology. The Padres do have a date numerology riddle as well. They can get the 29th away win on the 29 date. They could stay at 65 losses on the 65 date in Philadelphia. So there is a riddle there for the Padres, but this is Philadelphia's number. And in light of what just happened with the shooting this week and all that, it's hard for me to imagine the Phillies not getting that 65th win. Let's just look at the pitchers a little bit more, just in case there's some gem we need to know about. So Lucchesi... he's 15 and 16. Pennsylvania's 53, the 16th prime. I'm not going to write home about that. Let's see. Splits. Phillies. He faced them. He's 1-0 versus the Phillies. 1 start, 6 innings, no earned runs, so he had a good start against them historically. And Citizens Bank. Let's see if he's pitched here before. No, he's pitched at Citi Field, but not the Philadelphia Park. Okay, so Lucchesi has some good history against the Phillies, but he hasn't pitched in Philly. He's 98 and 96 for his career. The National League, he's 19 and 23. All right, let's check his splits real quick. Padres. He's 3 and 2 versus the Padres. Well, all I can say about that is San Diego Padres is 137, the 33rd prime. Doesn't have to go that way though. He could win this one and lose his next one, become 4 and 3. San Diego 43. Anyway, I'm just gonna ride with the 65 thing. That's the strongest riddle on the board. Okay, Kikuchi. Yesterday we saw that the Blue Jays pitcher with a loss would fall to 4 and 9, which had us leaning Mariners. Today, the Mariners pitcher can fall to 4 and 9 versus the Blue Jays. Blue Jays 49. That number does play with them. Blue Jays, they would stay on 38 losses on the 38 date. Mariners could pick up the 38th away loss on the 38 date. Ontario's 38. Only thing that concerns me about the Blue Jays is that they're on 52 wins because Mariners is 52. But things are looking better here for the Blue Jays. So. If they beat the Mariners today, they'll go into Los Angeles with 53 wins. So that would make some sense. And I remember there's a riddle coming up with Kershaw that Kershaw could get upset by Toronto because his next career loss is 72. Let me see. I gotta put this. Blue Jays face Dodgers next. Los Angeles equals 53. Go in with 53 wins. So yeah, I'm leaning Blue Jays here. Just same reason as yesterday, using the same train of thought, the 4 and 9. It's like when you pick up on a riddle in a series, oftentimes that riddle will continue, you know. So just like how the Yankees pitchers back-to-back days came in 8 and 6 and improved to 9 and 6. Both days. Yesterday, pitcher, his record indicates he can go to 4 and 9. That was for the Blue Jays yesterday. Today it's with the Mariners. So, and let me just see who the Mariners play next to, just to be a little bit more thorough. Mariners got the Rays next. So Tampa Bay Rays is 52 and Tampa Bay is 25. So that would be the Mariners' excuse, actually, to get their 52nd win. They could pick that up against Tampa Bay, though. Mariners play Tampa Bay Rays next. All right. Yeah, but even still, I still like that Kikuchi can get to 4 and 9, so I think that's the stronger riddle. All right. The Tigers and the Rays, just keeping it simple. Rays can get to the 33rd win. The prayer for the Tigers would be Matthew Boyd getting to 7 and 9 because Detroit Tigers is 79. Let me just look at his stats a little bit more in case there's something else there. But the Tigers like to give up that 33. So Matthew Boyd is 28 and 44. Well, he does have one more interesting thing going, actually. Boyd can get 29th career win, 29 date numerology. Damn. Trevor Richards, what's he got going on? Oh man, he is a bum, isn't he? He's 7-21. If he lost, he'd be 7-22. That pie thing. All right, I'm just gonna note it. Who do these teams play next? Rays got the Mariners next, right? That's what we just saw. So they play the Mariners tomorrow. If they stayed on 52 losses, Mariners is 52. 3. What about the Tigers? One, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait. Tigers got the Astros tomorrow. Is that there? So if the Detroit loses, they'd go into the Houston series 20-41. Astros equals 20. Houston does equal 40 and 41, but Astros is 20. So, yeah, Matthew Boyd does give the Rays a shot. All right, excuse me. Matthew Boyd gives the Tigers a shot, but I just like the Rays getting that 33rd home win against the Tigers. That number plays a lot with Detroit, so I'm just going to stick with that. There is a little concern there. If you're looking for some potential upsets, Boyd would be the upset narrative, so I'll let you make that decision. And he is facing the right Rays pitcher. Career record is 7-21, which means he loses 3 times for every time he wins. But Trevor Richards, this is his first time playing with Tampa Bay, right? So before he played with a losing franchise, now he's on a winning franchise. And let's actually see how he's making his debut here with, let's look a little bit more at his birthday since this is his debut with the Rays. June 15th. 64 days or his 65th day of his age. What's going on with 65 today? Huh. His name doesn't equal 65, does it? His name is 79, like Detroit Tigers, like how the opposing pitcher has a chance to become 7-9. Trevor 64. It's also 64 days after his birthday. Okay, the Cardinals and the Reds. The Reds can get their 29th win in the NL Central and stay on 29 home losses on the 29 date numerology. Caller?
Hey, Richards' birthday is May 15th.
Trevor Richards?
Yeah, you had hold up Trevor Plouffe.
Oh, whoops. Like how did I do that? All right, thanks, man.
All right, bye.
Thanks. All right. Typed in the wrong thing. All right, May 15th, 1 month earlier. It's 95 days or a span of 96. 3 months and 3 days as well, facing the Tigers. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with that thought of 33. Okay, the Cardinals and the Reds. Again, Reds can get the 29th win in the NL Central on the 29 date and stay at 29 home losses. The 65 does line up on both sides in this game. If the Cardinals won it, they'd get their 65th win. The Reds would get their 65th loss. 65 date numerology. 65 days to the start of the World Series. If Flaherty loses, he's 6-7, like 67, the 19th prime. Reds is 19. Let's look more at his stats. Might be all he has. 14-17. Well, his next career loss would be 18. His next career win would be 15. That's tough because Ohio's 47 and 61. 47's the 15th prime. 61's the 18th prime. And I guess we can look at his splits first. The Reds. He's 1-2 versus the Reds with a 2.6 ERA and 6 starts. So not a bad ERA, just obviously hasn't got the run support. And Great American, let's see what his record is at that ballpark. He's 0-1 there with a 3.97 ERA and 3 starts. 0-1. And that's Alex Wood. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have much at all to work with. Or I'm wrong about that, actually. 53-41. 53-41. Reds and Cardinals. Whoops, I should have done it from the other team's perspective. Where did Cedric Benson die is one thing I didn't catch. I wonder what city that happened in. That's the other thing we're going to have to look at. I'm thinking about that because he played for the Bengals for the majority of his career. St. Louis Cardinals. All right, let this load here for a minute. Time this game start. The game that's about to start. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 losses, 6-8. 6-8, and at home, 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4-5 at home. 4-5 at home, 6-8 for the season. I don't think those numbers go with either team. Or wait. Reds is 46 if they lost. Whoops, hit the wrong buttons. All right. 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they could fall to 4-6 at home with a loss. Reds is 46. Yeah, this game's probably dangerous because you got the 29s going for the Reds. If for whatever reason 65's extra special today because it's 65 days from the World Series, that would go in favor of the Cardinals and against the Reds. Flaherty, though, with the loss being 6-7 against the Reds, again, would make sense because 67 is the 19th prime. But now I worry about the Reds becoming 4-6 at home, too. So, yeah, it's probably not the best game today. Dodgers and Braves. Let's look at Fried to see if there's a better clue here. If he won, he'd be 15-4. That Special baseball number. Well, 17-9. 179 is the 41st prime. Is that right? I think so. 179 the 41st prime. So Fried could improve to 17-9 for his career, like 179 the 41st prime. LA's 41. Braves is 41. And I think there's a date numerology today that goes. Hold on. Maybe not. Maybe not. Braves could get their 16th win versus the West. Los Angeles 53, the 16th. They could also get the 14th loss, though. LA 14. Dodgers. Yeah, so the date numerology is actually not there. Caller?
I just want to add a couple notes on this Cardinals game. So Flaherty is like their ace, and he's had he's had like I guess the second best performance since like the All-Star break or since early in the season, and he's close to matching his like last year like performance that everyone was raving about or something like that. This is what the article's been talking about. But the main points that I want to bring up are this: it is 1 month, 27 days from his to his next birthday, which is on 10/15. St. Louis Cardinals, something like that, is 115. 127 is also the 31st prime. Cardinals are going for their 31st road win and 31st NL Central win. It is 102 weeks and 2 days from Flaherty's debut. The Cardinals are playing their 122nd game of the season. It is 14 days, or a span of 15 days. 2 weeks, 1 day, Sunday equals 21, until the anniversary of Flaherty's debut. Flaherty is on 14 career wins. He could get his 15th. Yesterday we saw with the Brewers pitcher, he was starting like 64 days after his birthday on the 64 date, and they won today. Flaherty is on his 308th day of age, 38 day numerology. It is 58 days from his next birthday. The Cardinals could get their 58th loss, where the Reds stay on 58 wins, but there is the 57 day numerology on the Hebrew calendar, so I think the 57 plays quite a bit today. And the Reds would then the Cardinals would stay on 57 losses on the season. And it's also a span of 8 weeks, 3 days, or 59 days from his next birthday. The Reds going for the 59th win, so there's that. The Reds pitcher debuted when he was 22 years, 138 days old. Now he faces off against number 22 on 38-day numerology. It's also a span of 2 months, 20 days from his 2019 anniversary of his debut. Wood debuted on 5/30, and that's a span of 11 weeks, 4 days, or 81 days. But, I mean, the main things, though, are it's 147 days until Wood's next birthday, and that's also 4 months, 25 days, which is another 47. St. Louis equals 74 and 47. Cincinnati equals 174. Ohio equals 47. So the last point, the Cardinals have this ridiculous winning streak on August 18th. They haven't lost since like the 2000s, and they last played the Reds on August 18th in 2014. It's a span of 60 months since then, or 60 months 1 day. St. Louis Cardinals equals 61. And then they went to 67 and 57 that day, so they stayed on 57 as well, which would play with what they would do today.
How many games is the win streak? Did you count?
I forget.
Okay. Flaherty can get it.
At least 2 or 3 years where they didn't play on the 18th.
Flaherty can get his 18th career loss today is another thing to consider on the 18th. Because if he lost, he'd be 6-7, which would make some sense against the Reds. 67, the 19th prime, Reds 19.
Yeah, but I like what you brought up, the head-to-head, them going to 4-6. Like Reds equals 46.
And that has played a lot with the Reds, so...
Yeah, plus, if you look back at the head-to-head that you had pulled up before, it seems like they always go, one team wins, next team wins, kind of like back and forth always.
Right.
So, it's the same thing they did the series already, And yesterday was that huge Pete Rose tribute, so today it would make sense for Wood to get the loss, especially with Flaherty being the ace.
Well, you can take a stab at it. I mean, the game still makes me nervous just because the Reds got date numerology on their side, and you can make a excuse for Flaherty to lose. But yeah, I do agree that 4-6, the Reds fall into 4-6. I've seen a whole lot of that number with the Reds this year. So
yeah, it will just be interesting to see what happens because it is that birthday and debut sync with the 122nd game. But anyways, that's all I wanted. Thanks.
All right, yeah, good observations. Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to pick the safest games. If I don't think the game's safe, I'm not gonna take a stab at it. Then again, there are games that I think are safe that don't come through, but usually when we stick to the safe games, we get the majority right. So this Max Fried, again, he can get to 15-4, like 154, big baseball number. And it is interesting that if he wins today, he would improve to 17-9 for his career, like 179, the 41st prime. LA's 41, Braves is 41. So that goes against what I said yesterday, though. I said I like the Braves to be 73-53, and I'm still looking at that. Just because Los Angeles Dodgers is 73, Los Angeles is 53. So, But now I'm just looking at Fried's numbers and thinking, man, if he won, that would make some good sense. Okay. I have down here in the team notes. The one riddle for the Braves to win in their record would be to get the 36th home win because Dodgers is 36. So let me see who these teams play next. Let's see here. Braves schedule today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll face the Mets next. That's not going to help us. And then tomorrow they'll face the Marlins. Wait, where was that game at? That game's at home. Marlins would make sense. Their next, well, if the Braves won and were 36-27, Miami is 36-27. If they didn't win, they'd get their 36th home win over Miami. What about the Dodgers? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. The pitcher's going to face the Yankees next. If he was 1-2 facing the Yankees, 37, the 12th prime. So they got the Blue Jays back at home. What would make sense for the Blue Jays? Toronto Blue Jays. Is that a 3-game series? 3-game series. There's a chance the Dodgers, again, we saw how Kershaw is going to face the Blue Jays, and his next career loss is 72. Dodgers is 72. Toronto 72. If the Dodgers won today, they'd have 83 wins, and if they won 2 out of 3 against Toronto, they'd get to 85. Toronto Blue Jays is 85. So I wonder about that. What just happened? Click something? Okay. But that Braves record, my thought yesterday, I mean, I just didn't realize how good things lined up for Max Fried today with a win, but yesterday I was spotting how that record 73-53 would make a ton of sense. Los Angeles Dodgers 73, Los Angeles 53. So, check one more thing. Okay, the Brewers and the Nationals game. Brewers do have a shot with the date numerology today. They can get the 29th away win on the 29 date. They could also get their 65th win on the 65 date. Washington, D.C. 65 as well. That would keep them at 33 away losses. Nationals 33. It would keep them at 59 losses. Washington 59. The concern is their pitcher, Chase Anderson. If he loses, he's 5-3 and Milwaukee's 53. However, the Nationals pitcher, he makes sense with a loss as well if he fell to 3-3 because Nationals is 33, Washington, D.C. 137, the 33rd prime. So it looks to me a little bit better for the Brewers here. They got the date numerology on their side. The record makes a lot of sense with the win. Chase Anderson is the question mark here. So, let's see. He's 50-38 for his career. He could stay on 38 losses on the 38 date. Washington, D.C. on the 38th parallel. He's at 50 wins, though. Washington's 50. Okay. Let's see his splits with the Nationals. He's 0-1 versus the Nationals. He's on the start. 2 starts, 9 innings pitched. Or no, 7 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. So not very good there. It's not encouraging. Washington Nationals Park. He's 0-1 at the Nationals Park. That's where he's had his 2 games with the 9 ERA. So he is definitely not pitched well there. And let's see. Who's he going up against again? Fetty, that's right. If Fetty lost, he would be 5-8 for his career. Washington is 58. So Brewers versus the NL East. The Brewers could get their 18th win versus the NL East on the 18th of the month. Another thought. The Nationals versus the Central. They're 9-12. But I do think things look a bit better here for the Brewers. Chase Anderson's my one concern. Who's he going to face next? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to face the Diamondbacks next. And that doesn't exactly connect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then he'd face the Cubs next. Cubs is 63. Could become 5-3 in a later start, though. Yeah, I gotta lean with the Brew Crew. They got the double date numerology connection. Date numerology's been mostly good. And you can make sense of both pitchers with a loss, so I'm just gonna say that's a wash, which gives the Brewers the edge. Okay, the Mets and the Royals. What stood out to me when I looked at this game is if the Royals lost, they'd be 24-39, and Glenn Sparkman could become 3-9 as well. New York is 39 in the most pure cipher, and Mets is 24. We've seen a lot of 24 with the Mets. Said at the beginning of this series the Royals might get to 24, so perhaps that's where they stay. One thing I see for the Mets is they could get their 61st loss on the 18th. Again, 61 is the 18th prime number. And yesterday we were watching those 59s and 17s because 59 was the 17th prime. Cubs did have a chance at the 59th loss yesterday. They avoided that. Just go back and scan real quick. Brewers had a chance to stay on 59. They did, but they had other things going besides that. Phillies did pick up their 59th loss on the 17th. Red Sox stayed on 59. And so 59, I mean, if you followed the 59s yesterday, you did all right too. So that's something to think about with 61s today. Make sure I didn't miss any. Because it's 61's the 18th prime, 18th of the month. So Mets could get that 61st loss. They'd stay on 29 away wins on the 29 date. All right, here, let's look some more at the pitchers. Zach Wheeler, 42 and 37. So Wheeler could get his 38th career loss on a 38 date. He's 42 and 37. Wheeler can also get 43rd win. Casey equals 14, 43, 14th prime. Both games have had scores of 1 to 4. Let's see what he's doing here with the Royals. 0-1 versus the Royals, 7.2 ERA, 1 start. And what do they call it? Kauffman Stadium. Maybe he hasn't pitched there. Alright, he hasn't pitched there. Alright, so you can make sense of Wheeler, his career wins or losses. What about Sparkman? He's 3 and 11. Probably hasn't faced the Mets before. Yeah, hasn't faced the Mets. So again, that Royals record at 24 and 39, it's really what screams out at me, especially if Sparkman falls to 3 and 9 too. I'd say the best thing going for the Royals is just giving the Mets their 61st loss on the 18th. Okay. Mets are a big favorite. Who do they play next? Actually, let's look at one more thing here. One, two, three, four, five. He'll face the Braves next. Is that in Atlanta? No, it's in New York. Braves. If he lost, he'd be 9 and 8. The reflection at 89. That's the Indians at home tomorrow. Cleveland Indians. How many games is that series? 3-game series. If the Mets won today and swept the Indians, they could get to 67 wins, but that's hard to imagine. Indians are a pretty good team. Cleveland Indians is 67. Royals got the Orioles tomorrow. That's in Baltimore. So wins and losses aren't going to matter. Yeah, the thing that really stares out at me is just the 24 and 39. Mets 24, New York 39, Sparkman 3 and 9. Biggest concern is Mets getting the 61st loss on the 18th. So, you know, I'm thinking actually of one more thing. If I'm not mistaken here, does Royals equal 63? Oh, never mind, it's 36. So they don't have to stay on 63 wins. All right. But that New York Mets riddle's right there. New York and 39. All right, the Twins and the Rangers. Man, the Rangers, I thought they had a good riddle yesterday. Today they could get the 61st win on the 18th. So they got a shot at that. And the Twins surpassed 74 wins. Texas Rangers is 74. So I have to just see who these teams play next. Rangers schedule. We got the Angels next. The Rangers get one more home win. They're 1 off 37. The Los Angeles number. They host Los Angeles next. And here, let's look at the pitchers. Oh, well, that stands out right away. Martin Perez, his next career win is 52. Texas Rangers is 52, just like Minnesota. Texas Rangers 52, Minnesota 52. So Martin Perez can get his 52nd career win. Maybe that's where this is going. Martin Perez can get 52nd career win. Texas Rangers 52, Minnesota 52. And let's see his splits first. Actually, who does he face next? Or I'll do the splits first. Rangers 1-0 versus the Rangers, but not a very impressive outing. Must have got a lot of runs behind him. All right. One, two, three, four, five. He'll face Detroit next. I don't think that's gonna matter. There's Tigers 105. No. Okay, and then Lance Lynn. There's the Twins. Wow, he's never faced the Twins. He's 96 and 65. Interesting that he's on 65 career losses on this day. And 96, 65. Texas is 66. Okay. He used to pitch for Minnesota too. 24 and 18 versus the AL. Who does he face next? It's interesting that Lynn's next career win is 97, and it would also be his 25th in the AL, because 97 is the 25th prime. Let's see who he faces next. One, two, three, four, five. Chicago White Sox. I don't think they have a connection to that. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's possible. He could end up facing the Mariners next. Or he could end up getting that win against the Mariners because they're the 97 team. If he didn't win in his next couple starts. All right, so Martin Perez, great opponent for the 52nd career win. Texas Rangers 52, just like Minnesota. But still, I'm trying to find a game where it's just lopsided, where we don't have a riddle on both sides. The Rangers could get their 61st win on the 18th. That is the one concern. But Lance Lynn, perfect opponent. All right, Marlins would be a nice upset today. Marlins do have a good shot for all the reasons we talked about yesterday. We like the Rockies to win the series. They've already done that. If the Rockies lose today, they'll get their 68th loss. Miami Marlins is 68. They'll stay on 32 home wins. Marlins is 32. The best thing for the Rockies is the possibility of staying on 29 home losses on the 29 date, but there's not a lot of strength in that. The Marlins can get their 46th win. Rockies is 46. They can get their 21st away win. Colorado Rockies is 73, the 21st prime. And they can stay on 38 away losses. As we know, Colorado 38, 38th state. Colorado Rockies 163, 38th prime. And you have the 38 date numerology as well. So, Marlins, they definitely have a shot to upset here. And let's look real quick at what the Rockies and Marlins head-to-head record is against each other. For one more thing. I'm going to go back and do that for the Minnesota and Texas game here in a second, too. The Rockies and the Marlins. So the Rockies are 61 and 43 at home against Miami. They could stay on 61 wins on the 18th. 99 wins, 111 losses, 211th game. Okay, Rockies. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Rockies are 4-2 against the Marlins. If they lost, they'd be 4-3. Colorado's 43. So is Florida. 2-0 at home. Let's see. Okay, so I think the Marlins have a good shot at an upset. Yamamoto's my biggest concern. If he lost, he'd be 4-5. Miami's 45. But he could get a no decision. He could become 5-4. The reflection, not out of the question. It's I don't think Lambert has. I know this is Yamamoto's first year, so those are his only stats. Yeah, same with Lambert. And Marlins schedule. It's at Atlanta. It's away. If they go into the Braves game 1 away from 22, it gives them odds of finishing the series on 22 away wins. Braves is 22. Let's see the Rockies schedule. Diamondbacks tomorrow. That's in Arizona. Yeah, I don't think that matters. Who does Lambert face next? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Cardinals. If Lambert lost this game and became 2-4, he faces the Cardinals next. He could fall to 2-5 versus the Cardinals. So that's another thing. Okay. So, yeah, I like the Marlins to upset there. I think they're worth the risk. Again, I like the Angels to get the White Sox to 37 away losses. Los Angeles is 37. Chicago's 37. You got an overlap number. The one thing that could go against the Angels today is picking up the 65th loss on the 65 date. But I like the overlap with 37. Number, it shows up a lot with both cities, Chicago and Los Angeles. And I guess I can look a little bit more at the pitchers here. Oh, hold on. I said I was gonna look at Texas and Minnesota head to head. I want to go back and do that. See if we can get a tiebreaker on that game. '85, 182. So Texas has really struggled against Minnesota. 1 win, 5 losses. 1-5. 1-5. Neither team has a connection to 53. I'm just thinking 53 is the 16th prime. Neither team has a connection to 97, the 25th prime, or 25. So hard to say where that's going to go. They're 0-3 at home. 0-3. That TC on the Twins cap is 13, isn't it? TC for Twin Cities. So Rangers are 0-3 at home. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy call. I mean, Martin Perez they are the perfect opponent for his 52nd career win, but there's just like a part of me inside that just feels like the Rangers are due, and I'm just thinking about that 61st win on the 18th of the month too. So, again, I don't think that game's exactly safe. Griffin Canning, let's see what he's got going on here. I think this is his first year. Yeah, it is, so he doesn't have a lot going on. I don't think he's faced the White Sox yet. Oops, hit the wrong button. Caller?
Hey, Zach, what's up?
Hey, man.
So, that fight, UFC, the main event.
Right.
Heavyweight champion, a former heavyweight champion, Daniel Cormier. He lost. His first loss was at the Honda Center, Anaheim, California, the same place where he lost last night.
And we talked about how it was 59 UFC events since his last loss as well on the 17th. And that number they quote all over Black History, and then a white guy beats him. So I think that was part of the joke.
And also, one more thing. A few days before, even UFC, there's a YouTube video about it called UFC Embedded. The first ceremonial pitch at Angel Stadium. Guess who threw the ball?
Was it him?
Yep, Daniel Cormier. You said this before. You know, sometimes when they have certain special events at the stadiums.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Los Angeles Angels equals 59. So.
Well, I just want to throw that out.
All right, good observation. I didn't catch that. That was a good one. All right, thanks, man.
Bye.
All right. I guess the one thing that I could say for Dylan Cease is he does have a chance to improve to 3-5. Chicago is 35, but I like that overlap with 37. Let me just make sure there's not something else. You have a lot to go off of with Canning. Dylan Cease. Yeah, not a lot to go off with him either. Yeah. So the riddles going against the Angels would be Cease to improve to 3-5 and the Angels to get the 65th loss. But even still, I like the overlap with 37. I think that's where this one's going to go. So the Astros are trying to not be swept by the Athletics. If they won today, they'd get their 79th win. 79 is the 22nd prime. Oakland's 22. They'd stay at 31 away losses. Oakland is 31 as well. So both of those things jump out. The Athletics are at 71 wins. 71's the 20th prime. Astros is 20. I thought they were capped out at 70 because Astros was 70. I didn't think about the prime number relationship. So that was an oversight. Athletics are at 40 home wins. Houston equals 40. Houston does also equal 41. Something that does jump out, though, that I document with the pitchers is if Brett Anderson won, he'd be 11-8, and we know that's a big number in the Bay Area. It's more specific to San Francisco. So maybe it doesn't matter as much with Brett Anderson. But let's look a little bit more here. I can't remember the Astros getting swept by anybody. Greinke, 199 and 122. Greinke's on 122 losses. Oakland and San Francisco are on the 122nd meridian. Versus the AL, he's 68 and 69. He could even his record up at 69-69. For the year, he's 12-4. He can get his 13th win of the year against Oakland. Oakland's 41, the 13th prime. Okay. And his splits with Oakland. He's 6-2 versus the Athletics. I don't think that's going to connect to anything. So that doesn't matter. And Brett Anderson, let's look a little bit more at him. He's 56 and 60. He could get his 61st career loss on the 18th. And his record against the Astros. He's 1-4 versus the Astros with a 6.58 ERA, so he's definitely struggled. And what about ballpark? He could become 18-18, the Oakland pitcher, with a loss on the 61st. And he can get his 61st career loss. So I think that's good for the Astros. Get the 79th win, the 22nd prime, Oakland 22. Stay on 31 away losses, Oakland 31. Zach Greinke gets his 13th win of the year, Oakland 41, the 13th prime. And Brett Anderson, he can get his 61st career loss and become 18-18 on the 18th in Oakland. All right, so Bumgarner, I do not think Bumgarner will lose tonight because he faces Oakland next, and we know Oakland Athletics 97, Athletics 97. He either wins tonight and goes into Oakland 9-7, or he gets a no decision tonight and gets that 9-7 record against Oakland. I imagine one of those two scenarios plays out. The Diamondbacks today have the date numerology in their favor. The Giants could get the 29th away loss on the 29 date numerology. The one thing that could go for the Giants is staying on 61 losses on the 18th. I think Bumgarner's at 118 career wins right now, if I remember right. Got that in the Oakland series. So, let's see. Bumgarner, Arizona. He's 12-11 versus the Diamondbacks. Doesn't go with the date today. And he's at 90 losses. I believe Diamondbacks have a 90 connection. Arizona Diamondbacks is 90, so if he didn't lose today, he would stay on 90 losses. What about... Let's see. Let's see. Bumgarner can stay on 90 career losses. Arizona Diamondbacks equals 90. Alright, what about Kelly? Eight and 12. And versus the Giants. 1-1 versus the Giants. 3 starts, 2.76 ERA. What do they call it now? Chase Field. He's 3-5 at Chase Field for his career. Yeah, it's hard to take the Diamondbacks just because I do not see Bumgarner losing, and there is a possibility he gets a win. The date numerology is on the Diamondbacks side, though. So if you're doing real-time betting, if Bumgarner comes out of the game and he's going to get a no decision, I would lean towards the Diamondbacks winning this game. So, you know, I'd do this one as a real-time betting just to see. Bumgarner's up early. Giants probably will take it away, but if he gets the no decision, and they'd have to be up by a significant lead, because, I mean, you can always get a no decision. If you're up 1 run, come out of the game, and the other team ties the game or takes the lead, now you have a no decision. So, yeah, it's tricky. And then Sunday Night Baseball, the Cubs have a shot at the 29th win versus the NL Central. If they don't lose, they'll stay on 58 losses. You know what? Something I should look at is what is the gematria of Sunday Night Baseball anyway? Maybe that's part of the reason I'm missing their riddles so often. Sunday Night Baseball. 317. I'm glad I just looked that up. That's the 66th prime number right there. That's funny. Cubs are going for their 66th win. Sunday Night Baseball 317, the 66th prime. Okay, so they have that. Plus they're going for the 29th win in the NL Central on the 29 date. And what else was there with Sunday Night Baseball? All right, let me jot that down for the Cubbies. Okay. All right, so Cubs can get that 66th win. Now we know that makes sense. Plus, they have the date numerology. If they don't lose, they stay on 58 losses. Last week was a 58 date numerology. You saw the death of the Pittsburgh coach on the 58 date. You saw the burning of the house just outside Pittsburgh, which was a big news story at the nighttime. And so the thing about Pittsburgh is, if you use the exception, Pittsburgh is also 59, but that 58 is definitely more significant. So let's look at Quintana here. Whoops. Quintana's 80 and 75. And what bothers me about that is, it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, if you use the rule, is 76 as well. Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, Quintana 80 and 75. 30 and 21 with the NL. Caller?
Jack Attack. Hey, I got a question for you. Are you going to do the preseason football games?
Well, we just talked about preseason games like where we've been able to see riddles. I mean, it's hard to pick out things in the preseason because there's not a lot of information to work with.
Well, they both televised. I just think we should try it, man. There's something to it. They got to be, because...
Well, we have on 2 games, and we've been right about both of those, but I mean, it's so...
So you don't think, like, Zach, we try to figure out, like, say, for instance, what's the day of the year? What's the day of the year today?
You mean August 18th?
No, like the day, like the 121st day of the year, all that type of shit.
Okay. Here, I have it all written down. I know today leaves 135 days left in the year, so it's the 230th day of the year, leaving 135 remaining.
Okay, well, today the Saints and Chargers play on CBS, and then the Seahawks and Vikings play on Fox.
Okay. Something we've been watching is... Here, hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. Something we've been watching is the coaches' records. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing there. We've been...
So the coaches got preseason records?
Yeah, we've been watching the coaches' preseason records because it seems like there might be some riddles there. So hold on, I'm pulling up that document again. Yeah, so like we noticed on the 35 date numerology, they've updated this now. Harbaugh and Gruden both picked up their 35th preseason wins all time on the 35 date numerology this week. So that was one thing we noticed. And what was another one? So Go ahead. Yeah, I've just been trying to see if there's any patterns with the coach records in the preseason, and there might be. So.
Yeah, can you look for me, please? Because you know I'm big on TV, so it's only 2 televised games.
All right, so what? Tell me the games again.
Saints at Chargers.
All right, Saints and Chargers. So stop right there. Let me look. All right, New Orleans. So Sean Payton's 26 and 29 in the preseason. Okay. All right, so we can watch and see, you know, if the Gematria of the day of the week matters. So that would be Peyton with his 30th loss, and then the Chargers. Anthony Lynn is 3 and 6. So if he lost, he would be 3 and 7, like Los Angeles is 37.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, and look, this is what I'm telling you, Zach. That's what's so real. Like, look, he's 3 and 6, right? CBS equals 6. He walked in with the 6. See what I'm saying? It's like, man. crazy. But,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. What's the other game?
Seattle Seahawks at Minnesota Vikings.
You know what? As I think about this, Saints, if you use the rule for S with Saints is 37 too. So Saints with the rule with S is 37. If Lynn lost, he'd be 3-7. Los Angeles 37, Saints 37. So I'll watch that today to see if there's anything there. And what'd you say the other game is?
Seahawks at Vikings.
Seahawks at Vikings. So Pete Carroll's 23-14. This is going to be his 38th preseason game. Minnesota's 38. You got a 38 date numerology. And maybe what's the over/under on that game?
It just says Minnesota -3.
There's no over/under?
I'm just on ESPN. I'm on ESPN. I can't see it because my internet won't work while I'm on the phone with you.
All right, hold on. I'll look it up. Zimmer's 18-4. And
Denver, which is in Denver, it's not Denver, Zach. It's the Vikings. They're playing the Vikings.
That's why I said Zimmer. He's the Minnesota coach.
Oh, I thought you said Denver. I'm sorry.
No, Zimmer. He can get to he can get his 19th win today. Seattle's 19. And he wins at a very high percentage in the preseason, 18-4 in the preseason. So I mean, he's a guy. That's a team that wins a lot.
Yeah, well, Fox Eagles, they play on Fox.
Fox is 18, yeah. Seattle's 19. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. I mean, you don't have to bet it today. You can observe and see if this is how they're doing the preseason, too. Maybe they are.
Yeah, they are. And then, one more question, Zach. Do they have the home and away record?
No, all I have is the record and for each year.
Can we manually count it? I'm just saying if we can, I just do it myself. But I think that'd be important, especially with the networks, because then it'd be like, say for instance, CBS equals 6. What about if the New Orleans coach is 18-5 on the road? You know what I'm saying? You get a 6 on CBS. That's just how I'm looking at it.
Sure.
Is that on Pro Football Reference?
It's on WalterFootball.com.
WalterFootball.com. Okay.
So the address to get there is WalterFootball.com/betting_pre PRE.php.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Walter. Yeah.
WalterFootball.com/betting_pre.php.
Hell yeah. Hey man, I appreciate that, dog. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be looking for, and then if that's what it is, that we could thoroughly look at it too.
Right. So the other day we were watching to see if Harbaugh and Gruden would pick up their 35th wins on the 35 date numerology, and they did. So I thought, okay, maybe there is some element of scripting to the preseason.
Yeah, it gotta be a sports bet, like you say. Vegas not gonna give up free money. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't know how people know how to bet in the preseason. I feel like most guys are just throwing it out there praying because, I mean, you don't even know who's going to play in the game, so.
Yeah, and you know what sucks is that, like in Iowa, like where I live at, like they just started making gambling legal so I could go to the casinos here. Iowa is one of the first states besides New Jersey to do it, right? But here's the thing, Zach. You got to give them your ID and your social security number. And if you make over $1,200, which I will, you know,
they have to report it, right? You got to pay taxes on it.
Bullshit. Yeah, so like, and then I asked the lady, I was like, so what about if I hit for $10,000? I said, can I pay the taxes there? She was like, yeah, you can. I'm like, that's some bullshit. And then, like, guys that's on child support, and if you owe the government money and you're on probation, like, you could bet, but they gotta take your money. So it's like, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, man, this shit's gonna be legal just like weed. They just had to find a way to make money off this shit. Yeah. So yeah.
All
It'll
right.
be legal in every state. Yeah. But that's all I wanted, man. So thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Orioles are up huge on the Red Sox early. Maybe they are going to get that 22. Still a lot of game left, though. Indians up big on the Yankees early. That's off Sabathia. So, is he still in the game? 4 runs in the second. 4-2. 4-2. See what they do with old Gematria. Phillies up on the Padres. Mariners up on the Blue Jays early. Tigers up on the Rays early. Cards up on the Reds. Dodgers are up on the Braves. There's that 73-53 thing. That's probably where that's at. That's on TBS. TBS anything? TBS is 41 like LA and Braves. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
Hey.
Yeah, with that preseason, I called in Mike Tomlin. He did go 3-2-2 yesterday, and I played that. So the preseason riddles have been coming in with the records.
Okay, yeah, that Skull and Bones number. Let me see. Yep, they updated it already. So they must update this at the end of the day each day. That's good.
Right, and Cleveland made the Colts 3-3 yesterday. So it's little riddles that do come through.
Okay, yeah, 3-3 against Cleveland. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so based on that, then today, what I'm watching to see if Anthony Lynn becomes 3-7 because Los Angeles is 37 and so is Saints, and also I'll be watching to see if Zimmer gets his 19th win over Seattle. You like the Saints?
I said that means you would like the Saints today.
Well, just based on the fact that Los Angeles and Saints both equal 37, and that coach can become 3-7, if that's what they're doing, that would make some sense. So I still haven't observed preseason enough to know just how consistent it is, but these are what I'm watching for today, and I'm watching for Zimmer to get that 19th win over Seattle. So.
Yeah. I've just been observing, so I know the last call, but they are doing it because yesterday with that 3-2-2 was definitely a play that I had called in about. I didn't know if he had any connection, but like you said, they just like using those numbers anyway.
Right, they sure do. And if this is what they're doing, then we can take a stab at the preseason games the rest of the way, where it lines up with records and opponent names. I mean, it's only one variable to go off, but maybe it's the only one that matters. So, Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy in his next game. I was going to say Matt Nagy in his next game. I'm just looking for coaches' records in their next games, things that might jump out. Matt Nagy, if he won his next one, he'd be 3-5. Chicago's 35. So that just stares out at me. There's probably some other ones here if I comb over it.
Right. Yeah, yesterday I was 2-0 on it, so
nice.
I know definitely the preseason has been really good, and both of them with dogs. It makes you think about it, because Cleveland was a dog, and Pittsburgh was a dog. So, but
okay.
It still both came through with the coaching riddle, no doubt.
If that's how it is, then yeah, you can start to look at this document and map out things that might make sense. Bill O'Brien, if he lost his next game, he'd be 13-9, like 139, the 34th prime. Texans is 34. So, okay, yeah, we'll hit it hard. Next week's the better preseason week anyway, week 3, where a lot of the starters play. So
right, it's going to start. And Patriots done won 6 straight games all the way back to last year. That's something maybe to look at.
Say that again. Who's won 6 straight?
Man, just appreciate the work, man. You got me to the point now. I'm like 8 months in. I do my own decode myself, man. I just want to say thank you again, man, for the knowledge you spread and how you teach it. Like, I like how you do regurgitate your information, because now I know this stuff. So before I put stuff in the Gematria calculator, I already know the outcome. You know what I mean? I just want to say appreciate it, man.
Well, you're very welcome, and that's why I do it, because I want to teach you guys so you can do it yourself, and you're doing it, and I'm glad to hear you winning.
It's crazy now, because when I do it, like the last 3 days, my favorite game has been your favorite game, but I do it way before you come on. You know what I mean? I'm on the East Coast, so I get up by 8, 9 in the morning, but it's crazy that like your favorite plays be my same favorite play, so we looking at the same thing.
All right, well, keep up the good work, man. Glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, yeah, welcome. See you. Okay, so yeah, I mean, maybe that's exactly what they're doing with the coaching record. So I'm going to be watching these things. Are they syncing it up? You know, in the NFL season, we have a lot more variables to look at, but the preseason, this is the one we know about. So today's observations, again, does Zimmer get his 19th win because Seattle's 19? He also wins at a very high ratio in the preseason. And again, the LA coach, Lynn, does he become 3-7 because Los Angeles is 37 and Saints is 37? So, caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I just got into the live stream. Do you have any of those numbers on Cedric Benson right now?
Yeah, so Cedric Benson died on the day that, that's how we started the live stream. Actually, if you rewound the live stream to the beginning, that's what I open up talking about is Cedric Benson. But he died on the date that I told people to circle a month in advance, the 4464 date. I'm going to do a video on it as soon as I'm done with this live stream. He died on his 233rd day of his age. That's the 51st prime number. Cincinnati equals 51, so does motorcycle. He played the majority of his career with Cincinnati. He started with the Bears. He finished with the Packers. That's the season opener this year. He died 19 days before the season opener for the 2019 season, plus a few other things.
Wow.
So,
all right, well, that's all I need, Zach. Appreciate it. I'll just keep watching the stream.
all right,
Thanks,
yeah,
bro.
welcome. Take care. And again, last month on the 4464 date that I told people to circle, you got the death of the former Ohio State football player and Cardinals running back, and I actually called Crime Stoppers about that because in the article they said Crime Stoppers was looking for information. So I dropped the knowledge on the Crime Stoppers about murder by numbers, and I even told that dude in that call, I said, just watch next month on August 17th, and there you go, another dead football player, and also Ohio related again, I believe. I need to see where he died, but again, he played for the Bengals, just like the other dude played for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And Ohio's the birthplace of football, so. All right. God, I guess, man, maybe the Orioles are going to do it. They're going to do it, maybe. That's the lead's growing. They did have a shot at that 20-second win. So I wish I would have been more, I said I wouldn't take the Red Sox today because the chance is there, but just the fact that the Orioles could have got their 85th loss too, I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So maybe some of you guys have the Orioles as a parlay multiplier. CC. I'm curious to see if they're going to do a CC. Again, the Yankees, Sunday's the day they struggle, so they could end up losing this game here. You had the riddles going both ways in this game. Still a lot of game left. Phillies better win today. Talked about how the Mariners could go into their next series with 52-25, which connects to the opponent, which is Tampa Bay. Blue Jays still have a chance to come back and win this game. They play Los Angeles next, 53. I suspect the Rays will come back and beat the Tigers. The riddle for the Tigers to upset was through their pitcher, and right now he does have a lead. Cardinals are jumping up on the Reds early. If the Reds lose, they'll be 4-6 versus the Cardinals. Reds 46. Dodgers on the way to making the Braves 73-53. Los Angeles Dodgers 73. Los Angeles 53. Uh-oh. Nationals are up on the Brew Crew early. What was it for that? I know the Brewers have the date numerology on their side. There's still a lot of game. Chase Anderson was the fear for Milwaukee that he could fall to 5-3 because Milwaukee's 53, so that could happen. Okay, so for remaining games, Sparkman, if he loses, is 3-9, and his team gets the 39th home loss. New York's 39. That would keep the Royals on 24 home wins. Mets is 24. I think that's the strongest riddle. New York and 39. The one concern is Wheeler. His next career loss is 38. It is a 38-date numerology. At the same time, he can get his 43rd career win, 43 the 14th prime, KC 14. Both games so far have had scores of 1-4. Twins, Martin Perez is going for his 52nd career win. Texas Rangers is 52. Minnesota's 52. So perfect team to get that 52nd career win against. My concern about this game is the Rangers could get their 61st win on the 18th of the month. That's the most powerful prime number relationship there is in baseball. 61 and 18. Baseball equals 18. The word prime equals 61. It's why Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in 1961. So I'm watching the 61-18 thing today. And actually, what's going on with the early games with our 61s? Which games have the 61s on the board? Or maybe those games aren't going on yet. I guess those are later games. I guess it's just here. The Mets are another team that do have a shot at their 61st loss today, so if you do your betting in real time, if you see the Mets like getting a big hole early and it doesn't look good for them, that could be a sign that the 61 and 18's in play. I'd keep that in mind for the Rangers game. And I like the Marlins to upset the Rockies. Again, the Marlins are already at 38 away losses. Colorado's 38, 38th state. We picked the Rockies to win the series, which they already have, because the Marlins should get to at least 38 losses. If the Marlins win, they get the 46th win. Rockies is 46. They get the 21st away win. Colorado Rockies is 73, the 21st prime. The Rockies would get their 68th loss. Miami Marlins is 68, and they'd stay at 32 home wins. Marlins is 32. For our caller out there that likes the Gematria and day of the week for wins, he'd probably bet the Rockies today because he would like that the Rockies could get the 33rd win. Sunday's 33. Peter Lambert could become 3-3. Again, I am really not crazy about Gematria and the day of the week. Some people say it works for them, but it seems like almost any time I look at it, it's not coming through. So, but to each their own. I think the Marlins have a good shot at an upset today. We did see that Dylan Cease had a chance to become 3-5. Chicago's 35. The Angels could stay on 61 wins on the 18th. But I'm going to turn a blind eye to those things and stick with my thought that I said yesterday. I like the Angels to win yesterday and today because they can get Chicago to 37 away losses. Los Angeles is 37. Chicago's 37. Always a big number with Chicago. Go back and look at the Cubs and White Sox games this year and tell me about the 37s. It's just big numbers with both cities, so I'm going to assume that that's where it's going. 37 away losses. And I'm going to take the Astros here in this game. I don't think they get swept by the Athletics. If they did, it would have to be some sort of tribute to New York, because New York's 78. But I do think the Astros get off it today. 79th win, that's the 22nd prime. Oakland's 22. They stay on 31 away losses. Oakland's also 31. Athletics stay at 71 wins. That's the 20th prime number. Astros equals 20. And we saw that Greinke can get his 13th win of the season. Oakland's 41, the 13th prime number. Where did I write it at? Okay, Greinke can get 13th win this season. Oakland, 41, the 13th prime. This Anderson, he can also get his 61st career loss on the 18th, and he would become 18-18 at home with the Athletics on the 18th of the month. So, going to take the Astros there. I'm going to skip this Giants-Diamondbacks game. Diamondbacks have the date numerology on their side, but I don't see Bumgarner losing because he plays Oakland next. I see him getting to 9-7 either in this game or the next game. And I think the Cubs win on Sunday Night Baseball. They get the 29th win in the NL Central, and they get their 66th win of the season. Sunday Night Baseball equals 317, the 66th prime number. Cubs would also stay on 58 losses. Pittsburgh's 58. So I don't see anything screaming out for the Pirates. But as I say that, I'm not sure that I even checked Mitch Keller's stats. So let's just make sure there's not something there I'm missing. Yeah, he's a new guy, so he doesn't have a lot of history and he hasn't been so impressive so far. I guess just because it's Sunday Night Baseball, we can look at a few more things real quick. Say Quintana birthday, January 24th. It's 206 days after his birthday, or his 207th day of his age. That means it's 159 days to his upcoming birthday. And Mitch Keller April 4th, 4/4. 136 days after his birthday, the 16th triangular number. P is 16, what they wear on the cap. 137th day of his age, 33rd prime. So they could stay on 33. But yeah, I like that the Cubs have the date numerology and the riddle with Sunday Night Baseball, so just gonna stick there with that. So I will link all these notes in the description of the video, and I will also I will link this right here. So I've been linking it in a few videos. I know not everybody's here every day, but just so you can save this, bookmark this page if you want to do preseason football. I think your best bet at getting a shot at a game is looking what's going on here with the records and how the riddle might be. And so far we've seen date numerology come through, and we have seen team name gematria come through. We were looking at McDermott earlier this year to see if he could become 4-5. He did. He's now 5-5, but he's the coach of the Buffalo Bills. So okay. All right. Let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on the Benson death, but it's definitely synced up with the start of the season. Texas Longhorns is a good thought, too. Yeah, the Yankees game was concerning just because they had a chance at 74 wins and 35 away wins. New York Yankees 74. Yankees is also 35. And hard to say what Sabathia was going to do. See if the Red Sox end up coming back. That 85's still there. All right. Going to wrap it up. Get up the notes. The link will be in the description for the preseason record, plus everything else. Cheat sheet. I'll get up the golf tournament notes as well. Justin Thomas up at the top. Again, Justin Thomas had a real strong connection this year. Like we talked about, this was the first year with this course, and the name of the course was the same as the name of the tournament. And there was only a few golfers that had the gematria that was like the tournament and the course. So Justin Thomas was one of those guys. Plus Justin Thomas had the BMW connection. And see, does he still have a big lead? It's looking like it's his. Well, still a lot of day left. Started off with a +1, so you just never know. But he does have a really strong connection. A lot stronger than Tony Finau or any of these guys right here. Lucas Glover was a long shot with nice numbers. John Rahm's right there. He's got some good connections. Matsuyama being the leader on day one. He didn't have any connections, but all I could think of is in light of the car tournament. One of the storylines for Toyota this year is that they're using a BMW engine. So I was like, is that some sort of car tribute? A Japanese player on top day one? The only guy who's disappointed me so far is Cabrera Bello. Tiger hanging around. I thought Cabrera Bello would bring it. So he's at 1 under. All right, so anyway, I'll get all those notes, and we'll leave it there. Good luck, everybody. Be back tomorrow, same time.